We join the rest of the world in recognition of International Childhood Cancer Day. Leukemia, brain and spinal cord tumors, as well as lymphoma, are among the most common forms of cancer in children. We encourage you to check for certain telltale signs of childhood cancer. Leukemia and lymphoma are often accompanied by joint pain, fatigue, weakness, fever, and weight loss, while brain and spinal cord tumor symptoms include vomiting, blurred or double vision, dizziness, seizures, trouble walking or handling objects. For more information, visit the Jamaica Cancer Society website, jcs.live. We have a lot lined up for you, so please stay with us.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Monday, February 15, 2021. The Senate has approved the legislation that will establish the Independent Fiscal Commission. Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Senator Aubin Hill, piloted the Independent Fiscal Commission Act 2020, which provides for the body's establishment. He says the commission will strengthen Jamaica's fiscal responsibility framework and promote sound fiscal policy and management to sustain macroeconomic stability.
The principles are, Mr. President, the continuing enhancement of accountability of the policy-making process, a continuous deepening of the transparency of government finances, the strengthened clarity and credibility of Jamaica's fiscal path, inclusiveness in the policy discussion space, and, importantly, taking greater Jamaican societal ownership for Jamaica's economic direction.
Among its mandates will be to monitor compliance with Jamaica's fiscal rules, keep the public informed on economic matters according to a scheduled calendar, and provide independent analysis on fiscal policy developments. The Ministry of National Security has convened a working group to address issues at the Rio Cobre Juvenile Correctional Center. These issues were highlighted in a recently concluded special investigation report into the Correctional Center by the Independent Commission of Investigations, INDICOM. Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of National Security, Senator Matthew Samuda, says the group will focus particularly on the care of inmates and wards.
This work will include focus on developing SOPs which are in line with best practices and culturally appropriate for the discipline of inmates and wards. Enhanced training for our officers who interface with juveniles. Enhanced training, indeed, for our wards.
Senator Samuda was making a statement on the INDICOM Special Investigation Report during Friday's sitting of the Upper House. He said the working group would also be conducting a review of the educational program within the juvenile correctional facilities, as well as evaluating the psychosocial support available to wards. Chief Technical Director in the National Security Ministry, Shauna Trowers, will chair this working group, with other representatives to be drawn from critical stakeholder agencies. Minister Samuda says the working group will be given a 90-day deadline to complete its review and make recommendations.
This group will be given 100% support from DCS and total access to our facilities to ensure that the plan, when completed, is indeed a roadmap to ensure discipline, education, and the care physical and psychological for our wards is appropriate and achieves the goal of rehabilitation.
Kingston now boasts a newly refurbished Trenchtown Entertainment Park located in South St. Andrew. The historic facility was renovated by the Tourism Product Development Company, TPDCO, at a cost of $39.7 million. Its renovation is part of the entity's Spruce Up Pondicana program. Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett says the work on the entertainment park reflects the significance of Trenchtown's contribution to cultural enhancement through music, as well as the importance of an inclusive and culturally rich tourism product.
Culture is really a pull factor for many demographics. However, many times over, I have mentioned that the new type of traveler seeks more to their visit than the typical resort experience.
The refurbished Trenchtown Entertainment Park was officially opened on Friday. Located in what is considered the birthplace of reggae, the park is expected to figure in job creation, training, and overall community development through tourism and other engagements. A new training program focused on agri-food processing has been launched at Monique College and the Hart NSTA Trust Ebony Park Academy. Skills to Access the Green Economy, SAGE, is a 5-year program being funded by the Government of Canada through Global Affairs Canada at a cost of $15 million. It will involve the development of an associate degree program in agri-food processing at Monique College. A preparatory program in the same area will also be offered at the Ebony Park Academy, specifically for adolescent girls, women, youth, and the vulnerable populations. Students who successfully complete the preparatory program at Ebony Park will be able to continue their studies at Monique College, based on the matriculation agreement between the two institutions. During the virtual launch on Thursday, Agriculture Minister Floyd Green lauded the program.
We have to train our young people to be at the cutting edge of processing, hygiene and sanitation, quality assurance and standards, to appreciate product development, food microbiology, labeling, packaging. We have to ensure that they're trained at the highest level so that our products, when brought to the fore, can compete in international markets.
Skills to Access the Green Economy, SAGE, is a regional program with 5 other Caribbean countries benefiting. The National Family Planning Board, NFPB, is partnering with the Office of the Public Defender on a human rights campaign. The campaign is entitled Everybody Have Rights. Know Your Rights. Report any violations now. Technical Officer in the Enabling Environment and Human Rights Unit at the NFPB, Nicola Cousins, says the campaign has 3 primary objectives, namely, to increase knowledge of basic human rights, empower Jamaicans to report human rights violations, and promote a human rights-based approach to service delivery.
The need for this campaign arose out of a baseline assessment that we did in the national HIV response. The baseline assessment took place between 2017 and 2018, and from that we learned that Jamaicans view human rights as a Western concept, an imposition from first world countries, the US, Canada, with an agenda, they think, to promote human rights and wide-scale acceptance of persons we consider to be key and vulnerable.
Ms. Cousins was speaking at a recent JIS think tank. She says the campaign will focus on 4 specific rights found in the Charter of Fundamental Rights and Freedoms and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights.
The right to life, liberty and security of person, number 1, and this is the order that they said we should focus on them in. The right to equitable and humane treatment by any public authority in the exercise of any function. Number 3, the right of everyone to protection from search of the person and property, respect for and protection of private and family life, protection of privacy of other property and of communications, the right to health.
The campaign is expected to last 1 year. And finally, Prime Minister Andrew Holness is asserting to Jamaicans that their compliance with COVID-19 containment measures will determine how quickly the island can lower the rate of infection. He was responding to criticism about the tighter curfew measures that took effect on February 10. The Prime Minister says the state was reluctant to impose the measures, but reasoned that it became necessary so as not to overwhelm the health system. COVID-19 ward capacity at 3 major hospitals are at 90% and above, while the regional health authorities are reporting between 59% and 83% of capacity across the board.
We understand the devastating impact it can have on the economy. But when we looked at the numbers in the hospitals and we weighed both risks, the bigger risk to the country is that we would not want to have people turn up at hospitals struggling to breathe, needing attention, and we don't have space for them. So that is the trade-off that you have elected this government to administer, to make. And it is not easy, but I give you my assurance that we take every decision seriously.
Prime Minister Holness was speaking during Thursday's handing over ceremony of 70 serviced lots at Windcrest Hills in Hellshire, St. Catherine. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
Do you know what a disability is? A permanent loss of function in any part of your body is called a disability. Some people are born that way. Others get a disability because of an illness or an accident. This doesn't have to prevent you from living a full life. The Disabilities Act will protect your right to work, raise families, or do business like anyone else. Visit jcpdja.com. A message from the JCPD, an agency of the Ministry of Labour and Social Security.
Government is serious about providing Jamaicans with avenues to realize their home ownership dreams. Just recently, the National Housing Trust delivered 68 serviced lots at Phase 2 of Windcrest Hills in St. Catherine. Find out how you too can be a part of an ownership society.
Now is the time to build house. Now is the time to buy house. Now is the time to make that critical investment in your life.
If you're thinking of answering the Prime Minister's call, look no further than the National Housing Trust, NHT.
The NHT is following the mandate that they have been given, which is build house, build house, build house, and don't stop build house.
That's right. Since 1976, the National Housing Trust has been providing affordable housing solutions to Jamaicans. Established through an amendment to the National Insurance Act of 1976, the trust was formed by way of partnership between the government and public sector workers. The aim? To increase the housing stock available while providing financial assistance to the neediest contributors. Persons are able to build, buy, or repair their homes through the NHT by making contributions. That is, funds are deducted from one's pay in this revolving loan scheme.
Since 1976, we are proud to say that we've housed well over 200,000 Jamaicans and provided well over 100 housing schemes across Jamaica.
Persons may realize their homeownership dreams with the NHT by two main avenues. First, the trust develops housing units or serviced lots. Currently, there are over 40 such projects underway across the island. The NHT also provides mortgage financing for Jamaicans seeking to build or buy houses, purchase land, or make repairs on existing homes.
While we're not a regulator, we have different partnerships between developers, between contractors, between financiers in the market as well to see how best we can improve the overall aesthetics and the overall housing product, whether it be public or even private as well.
As a result, contributors can combine funds received from the NHT with that of private financiers. And the trust has also entered into agreements with developers to give even greater access to home ownership. In addition to partnering on the construction of houses, NHT makes lands available for developers to build houses.
One of our newer programs that we are particularly proud of is our Guaranteed Purchase Program, GPP for short, where we actually liaise with developers who have projects themselves that they have built and have brought out of the ground and or they are about to do construction on. And what the NHT does in those instances is the NHT buys the units from the developers and make them available to our contributors. And we think it's a good one because it's a win-win-win situation because the developers win, they are good at building. And so they're able to do it at a faster pace, but they are not good at selling. They're not marketers. And the NHT, as you know, has a ready market, so the NHT can take those from the developers. The mortgagors win because they get these units at NHT's preferential interest rates as opposed to buying them on the open market. And the NHT wins because we get the actual units that we know our contributors want.
If you're thinking of realizing your homeownership dream with the NHT, think on these things.
Once you're a contributor, the NHT will assist you. So we always say start with the NHT, but really and truly it involves research. And we find that persons sometimes jump into the housing business and then they get frustrated after a couple weeks or a couple months because they're not quite prepared as to what to expect. So we say come in, sit down, have a conversation with us, see what the loan products are, see what the interest rates are, see what your general mortgage options are. You may want to buy, but in that discussion you realize that you have some piece of land that has been passing through your family and there's a title for it. You probably want to build instead because that could turn out much cheaper than actually having to buy. So start with that conversation with the NHT, and our officers, they are always well equipped to guide you through the process. As you go through the process, there are different requirements, whether you're building or you're buying that you will have to satisfy. But generally, we want to know that you're able to afford a mortgage. So we will look at your affordability, which is a big part of it. So look at how much you earn, look at what interest rate that goes along with that income, with as low as 0%. So you want to ensure that you tap into what benefits you can get from the NHT. And then we have partnerships with other mortgage institutions. So if you want beyond the NHT's limit of 6.5 million, we have a one-stop shop where you can just partner with any of the other institutions, and we facilitate that process for you as well. So do the research, see where you are, see what the options are, and just come in, have a conversation with the NHT, have a conversation with your realtor, have a conversation with your mortgage provider, and just stick to the process. It generally takes about 90 days. So manage those expectations and ensure that you hire competent professionals to guide you through each step of the process, whether you're building, whether you're buying a house or you're buying land. Ensure you hire, can't stress that enough, qualified, competent individuals to guide you.
If you're in the market for a place to call home, here are some of the NHT projects that will be ready soon. Industry Cove in Hanover, Perth Estate in Manchester, Money Musk in Clarendon, Silverson Estate Phase 2 in St. Catherine, and Ruthven Towers in Kingston and St. Andrew. For further information on NHT products, be sure to visit nht.gov.jm or your local parish office. Contact customer care, we care at nht.gov.jm or call 876-929-6500 Your housing dream might just be a call away.
The Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities is making considerable strides in safeguarding and including the disabled community in all facets of life here in Jamaica. Find out about their latest initiative next.
I'm Dion Jennings, Chief Technical Director assigned to the Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities. When we protect, promote and secure the rights and well-being of persons with disabilities, we move closer to realizing Jamaica's Vision 2030 goals, that of fostering inclusion, independence, access, and full participation of persons with disabilities in all spheres of national development. The Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities, under the Ministry of Labour and Social Security, is charged with the responsibility for implementing policies and programs for persons with disabilities. The JCPD, through the Ministry of Labour and Social Security, will continue to provide support to persons with disabilities to access assistive aids and adaptive devices to enable their independence in their everyday life.
What is a hearing aid?
A hearing aid is a small electronic device that someone who has a hearing loss uses.
Are there different types of hearing aids?
There are different types of hearing aids, and usually they are associated with the type of hearing loss that you have. The behind the ear can be used by anyone who has any levels of hearing loss, from a mild to a profound level. Then you have a receiver in the canal hearing aid, basically for persons with a mild to moderately severe hearing loss. They may have a bud, and if you have a greater loss, then a custom-made mold is attached to the RIC hearing aid, which is a receiver in the canal. Then you have an in-the-ear hearing aid, again, that is used by persons who have a mild to a profound hearing loss. Then you have in the canal hearing aid. That is used by persons, again, who have a mild to a moderately severe hearing level. The last hearing aid that we have is called the completely in the canal, and that is used for persons with a mild to moderately severe hearing loss.
Tips to care for hearing aids.
There are different types of hearing aid, and all of them are taken care of the same way, in the sense that they all use a battery, and you're not to use any liquid on the hearing aids. So there is a brush that normally comes with the product that you will clean off any wax or any moisture using a piece of tissue or a soft rag, and you take out the wax out of the openings of the hearing aid. So this is an in-the-ear hearing aid, and so this is taken care of by putting in the battery here, and then you remove it, leave the battery door open, put down in the case, and then if you have a behind-the-ear hearing aid, it's basically the same way. You have the battery door, and you remove the battery, you have the brush, you clean around the tips of the hearing aid, and you clean by the opening of the hearing aid, and you do not use any cleaning agent on the hearing aids. Also, at the tip of the hearing aid, you may have what is called a hair clear, and that is replaced whenever it is blocked with wax. So you put that on the tip of the hearing aid, and you insert it on the opening of the hearing aid so that it protects the hearing aid from excessive wax getting into the instrument itself. And then you remove this and you discard this as well. And that is basically all you have to do to take care of your hearing aids. Do not swallow the battery for the children. Do not leave it out for the animals to come and play with them. And you open the drawer, put it in its case, leave it open so that if there's any moisture in the hearing aid, it can evaporate. So parents, guard the hearing aid, protect them from any excessive moisture. So no cleaning of alcohol, no cleaning agent, no bleach or anything like that. Just when you remove it from your ears, like this, you take it out, you open the battery drawer, remove the battery, and you put it down in the case. And basically that's all you have to do to take care of the hearing aid that you have.
Where can I get information or help?
More information and help is available at the Jamaica Association for the Deaf, located 9 Morrisco Road with entrance on Caledonia Lane in the Kingston 5 area.
What is a wheelchair?
A wheelchair is a chair with wheels used when walking is difficult or impossible due to illness, old age, or disability.
Are there different types of wheelchairs?
Yes, there are different types of wheelchair. Actually, you have 3 types: standing wheelchair, electrical wheelchair, and manual wheelchair.
Tips to care for wheelchairs.
Some tips for caring for the wheelchair are: 1. To remove all dust from the wheelchair frame by using a damp cloth. 2. Check the tires to ensure that they are still hard. Use a bicycle pump to add air if necessary.
A production of the Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities, a department of the Ministry of Labour and Social Security.
Excess salt in your diet increases blood pressure and contributes to kidney damage, gastric cancer, obesity, osteoporosis, and the worsening of asthma. Aim to have no more than 3 to 6 grams of salt, or half of 1 teaspoon per day. And children under 11 years of age should consume less than this. Get healthy. Reduce the salt. A public service message from the Jamaica Information Service and the Ministry of Health.
Are you 50 years old or above? Have you been experiencing a persistent change in your bowel habits? How about constant abdominal discomfort to include cramps, gas and pain? This next feature is for you.
The gastrointestinal tract is a system of organs working together to support the human body. It takes food, digests it, absorbs energy and nutrients, and then removes waste through urine and feces. The esophagus, stomach, pancreas, liver, and colon are all part of this system, and studies show that cancer of these vital organs are becoming increasingly common in Jamaica. One of the leading causes of death among Jamaican men and women is colon cancer. cancer does not discriminate. It's the third most common cause of cancer-related death among Jamaican men and women. But like most lifestyle-related illnesses, you have the power to reduce your risk of developing colon cancer as well as prevent it from occurring. An unhealthy diet, smoking, obesity, alcohol use all increase one's risk for colon cancer.
Everyone is at some risk for colon cancer because everyone has a colon. But some individuals are at higher risk for colon cancer, depending on, for example, their diet or lifestyle. So a diet which is very high in processed meat, a diet which is high in fat, a diet which is low in fiber, these all increase your risk for colon cancer.
Other risk factors include persons with pre-existing medical conditions such as inflammatory bowel disease and ulcerative colitis. The risk level of persons with these diseases increases after 10 years. Therefore, active screening is a necessity. Unfortunately, signs and symptoms of colon cancer often mimic other diseases such as inflammatory bowel disease and irritable bowel syndrome. That's why it's crucial that there's early screening. So visit your doctor if you experience dark or bloody stool, rectal bleeding, diarrhea, constipation, bowel incontinence or narrowing of the stool that goes beyond a few days, belly pain, anemia, vomiting or unexplained weight loss.
You can develop a screening protocol in an individual depending on their risk.
It's recommended that colon cancer screening starts between the ages of 45 and 50 years old. The simplest screening tool is a stool test for blood at a local laboratory.
So this is not you looking to see if there's blood in the stool. This is you going to your doctor at the appropriate age. Your doctor sends you to the lab to get a stool sample tested to see if there's a microscopic amount of blood. This is the first sign usually that there is something called a polyp inside the colon. So the polyp is what's known as a precancerous stage. So it's not cancer itself, but we do know that a significant number of cancers will develop in individuals who have had a polyp. And the objective is to find the polyp and remove it before it gets a chance to become cancerous.
If a polyp is found, the next step in the screening process would involve a colonoscopy. In this procedure, a doctor would place a small camera into the bowel to check for the polyp and remove it if present.
We can do other screening tests. The barium enema is not as popular anymore, but it's still possible and is accessible and available, which is an X-ray involving some dye inside the bowel as well to look to see if there's anything growing there. A CT scan of the bowel can also be done as a screening tool to look to see if you have any polyps, which can then be removed at colonoscopy. Outside of screening for the colon, you may also want to try and reduce your risk by modifying your lifestyle. So stopping smoking, reducing your alcohol consumption, and eliminating processed meat in the diet are all important risk factors which can be modified to reduce the risk of colon cancer.
That's all the time we have left here on this station. Be sure to join us again tomorrow when we'll bring you another informative program. Missed aspects of today's show? Worry not. Watch it in full online. There's our website and our YouTube channel. You may also want to catch up on the latest government information, such as curfew hours, gathering limit, and other COVID-19 containment measures on our social media pages. On behalf of the entire team here at the JIS, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.